Well, hey there, welcome back to my channel. So excited that you're here with me today for another video. If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Brooke. I'm a Christian small business owner and homeschooling mom of 3 boys. We're going into our 5th year of homeschool, and I am just so excited and honored and just all of the emotions, because I remember when we first started how many times I questioned if I could actually do this. And now here we are going into our 5th year, which feels like such a big year. And I just am in awe of what God has done and his faithfulness through all of this. So that's not to say we haven't had hard moments and times that I've questioned this decision, but in the end, the blessings and the fruit that is coming out of it is far greater than any of the hard days or moments that we might have. So if you are going into the homeschool year and maybe you're struggling or maybe you're doubting yourself, I want to challenge you to just take it to God in prayer, surrender it to him, and ask him to guide you through this new school year, and he will help you get through it. He will help lead the way, and he will help you to get stronger and more confident in your journey as you go. As you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be going over my 5th graders work that we're going to be going through throughout the year. So I'm going to cover his math, his language arts, his elective, and some of the readings that he will be doing, some of the chapter books that he's going to be reading. Because I know that I am always looking for books for him to read, so I know that other people might be as well. So if you have any book suggestions for a 5th grader, please drop them down below, and I will share the ones that he's going to be reading this year as well. So I want to first preface this with the fact that we're only covering those units because I've already done a video that went out last week covering his Bible, history, science, and all of the read alouds, character traits, those kinds of things that we will be doing as a family. So I have a 5th grader, a 3rd grader, and a 1st grader. So that is covered in a whole separate video. So if you're looking for those kinds of things, that's what you'll find there. Make sure you go back and watch it. But today, like I said, we're going to cover math, language arts. Language arts covers a lot more than just language arts, which we'll get into, his elective, and the books that he'll be reading this year. So I'm going to start with math. We are going to be going with The Good and the Beautiful, Math Level 5. We are really excited about this one. We have been loving The Good and the Beautiful math. It has been such a fun curriculum. What we love about it is really the fact that it builds up on itself. So in the beginning, it'll start out with a review of what he's learned last year, but it builds upon itself where every day he learns a new concept, but then he's doing lesson practice for things that he's learned in the past. So he's constantly reviewing the things that he's learned so that he's able to build upon it. And then each lesson obviously builds upon the lesson prior. So we really love that. And then something that he really loves about this is there's a lot of games involved where it'll have the parent or the teacher come alongside and we'll do just a quick game to kind of really cement the lesson into the child's mind. And it's just a fun little piece of quality time. My sons all love quality time, so they really love that about this. But this is a 120-day curriculum. It's awesome. I have only good things to say about it. Yes, there are days where things get a little bit hard, but we always push through. There's always so much help. What I also love about the 4th and 5th grade levels of The Good and the Beautiful is 4th grade is when it starts to make the child work a little bit more independently. So at the beginning of each lesson, there's a QR code, and you scan that on like a smart device, or I have my son use my computer and just go to the lessons on the website, and he watches a video lesson, and then he goes through the lesson with a teacher on the screen. And then I'm obviously there to answer questions, but as a homeschooling mom of 3 boys, this helps me to also be able to work with my younger 2 while he's doing his math lesson. So it's creating independence for him, and it's creating a little bit of ease for me. And then if he has questions or he gets stuck on something, then I can come alongside of him and help him with that. But he's able to do most of his math lesson without my help. And it's been really nice to experience that, because like I said, when I'm trying to help my kindergartner or my 1st grader now read, and I'm trying to help my 2nd grader, now 3rd grader, do division for the first time, we're really trying to, I'm really stretched thin. And so the fact that he's able to do this has been really helpful. So very grateful for that. And with that comes an answer key. So I was really grateful for this because as they get up in grades, the mental math is not as easy. So I was trying to grade his work, and I didn't want to use a calculator in front of him, because then I'm cheating while he just did all this work. So I was doing the math and checking it, and this makes it easy where I'm just like, nope, that answer's wrong. Let's look at it together and figure it out. So I always check his work at the end of each day, and then we go over anything that he missed so that we can make sure that he understands it. So the answer key is very helpful for that. And then speaking of mental math, there is a mental math book that goes with it. So this is kind of his warm up to start the math day. And it's just a few quick questions that help him to just really quickly answer. So this is a fun little like mental quiz, I guess. And we kind of make it a little challenge to see how fast he could do it, things like that. He's competitive, so that kind of stuff speaks to him. Obviously, if your child is not competitive, then don't make it a challenge. But this is a great little way to kind of just open up their mind and help them to get their brains warmed up as they're going. So we love the Good and the Beautiful math. We are very excited about it. Speaking of warm up, we have the handwriting from the Good and the Beautiful as well. Last year and the year prior was a start of cursive, and so this is going to continue the cursive practice, which we really love. They do this as I am kind of getting ready to get the homeschool day started. I'll send them downstairs after their chores are done and say, hey, go get your handwriting done, and this will kind of get them in the mindset of school is starting. When mom comes down, we're going to do Bible and family time together, so we're going to get this done. So handwriting is just a good little start to the homeschool day, and his handwriting has improved tremendously over the years. So this year it looks like he's going to be writing actual poems and paragraphs in cursive, different quotes. Sometimes it's scriptures, but his cursive and his handwriting in general has increased greatly with the use of the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. So I have all good things to say about it, which is why we're using it again. So Good and the Beautiful level 5 handwriting. Next, we're going to go into the language arts again with the Good and the Beautiful. You can kind of catch a theme going on right now. We're not using all Good and the Beautiful. For science and history, we're using something else, but we really just love the Good and the Beautiful curriculum and what it brings and all of the wonderful things from it. So this is the language arts curriculum. What I love about the Good and the Beautiful language arts is it's not just language arts. So it's not just grammar, it's literature, it's grammar and usage, punctuation, art, geography, vocabulary, writing, and spelling in one. And it's so fun. Last year, I don't know what it'll be like this year, but last year my son was taken through Europe, and he got to learn about all kinds of different places in Europe, which was really fun because my husband and I had been throughout Europe, so we got to show him pictures of us in all of those places. But the geography component was really fun. So this looks like it takes him through lots of different places as well, but just really beautiful imagery in here. And it really helps the lessons to come alive. So it's not just a boring vocab lesson, but it's a vocab lesson that implements pictures from a different state or continent or country. And the writing, when he does his writing, is about different books that he's reading, which we'll get into here in a minute. So we love this. Writing is not my son's strength, either is spelling, but this is really helping him to learn to excel in those areas. So this is the book that usually causes the most heartache throughout the homeschool days for my 5th grader. But the growth that he has had over the last couple of years since we switched over to this curriculum has been exponential. So very excited for him to dive into this. He loves to do the reading, so there's lots of different books that come with it. So with the level 5 course book comes the level 5 book set. And in here it has assigned readers. So throughout the year, at the end of each lesson, it'll tell them to read one of these books. So they will read it, and then there's a little writing workshop that goes with it. And they will write about what they read about, which will help them to kind of retain things and also reading comprehension. So there are 4 books that already are going to be part of his daily reading schedule as he goes through the language arts curriculum. This year, it's going to also implement some watercolor, which he is really excited about. He loves anything art, so he is going to be really excited to dive into a lot of the watercolor stuff. So there's 12 project templates in here that he'll work through. And then these 4 books that he'll work through. So the way that this curriculum works is you do the language arts lesson, the vocab, spelling, all of that. And then you do, and there's a spelling workshop and there's a writing workshop. It's usually switched each day. So if he has a writing workshop, it would be read one of these chapters, write about it. If it's a spelling workshop, it's going to be work through the spelling words that you are working on, and it has them do different activities with those. And then at the end of that lesson, it encourages them to read for at least 20 minutes a day. And so that is where I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but it all goes together, so we're just going to go with it. That is where the different the different chapter books come in that my son will be working through. So he has read all of the different Good and the Beautiful book list books throughout the last couple of years. He's a little bit advanced in his reading skill, so he was able to read a lot of the books that the Good and Beautiful has already. So I was on an adventure this last year at Christmas to find new books for him to read that he would like. He loves anything that has to do with like a mystery or adventure, things like that. So I heard about this Secrets of the Hidden Scrolls series. This is siblings that are discovering ancient scrolls that transport them back into Bible times. He loves the show Superbook, so this sounds very similar to that. And I think it's going to be really fun for him to dive into this. So excited to see what he thinks about those. This is a 9-book series. And then the next one that I got is Bear Grylls Adventures. This is a little boy, I don't know if it's just a little boy, maybe some girls too, who go on different adventures in the woods, and it talks a lot about character traits and survival skills. So I thought that would be really fun, as my husband is military, so my son always loves to hear about different military related things. I thought it'd be fun for him to get some survivor skills as well. So these are the 2 book assignments that I have for him, like series wise this year. I don't know if he'll work through all of these. He probably will. He reads pretty quickly. 20 minutes a day, he can usually get a few chapters done. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 21 books, plus the other 4. So that's 25 books that he'll have read this year. And I think that's probably pretty doable. So I'm very excited to see what he thinks about these. So those are his little booklets that he'll be reading. Also, with the language arts curriculum came some geography and grammar cards. I haven't actually opened these yet, and I'm not going to because they're like loose leaf and I don't want to have them get lost in the shipment to Hawaii. But these are cards that it says to store them in a box, a coupon organizer, or envelope, and mark them learning, mastered, and not learned. So it says have the child practice 5 to 10 cards at a time. Once they can say the answer without hesitation, the card has been mastered. So this is going to be geography and grammar. So this will be a fun little addition. I've not had him go through these yet, so this will be fun to add into this year. And it sounds a lot like flashcards that they had throughout the lower level math, where he was learning different multiplication problems. This will be kind of the same thing. So he will enjoy that. And then the last thing for him is typing. So he is still working through finishing typing 1, because I just did not let that be a priority this year as we were working through other things. So he will finish typing 1 and then move right into typing 2 this year. So he really enjoys typing. He gets to play on the computer a little bit. It's not really play, it's just a Word document that he opens up and practices with, but he feels very like professional when he does it. So it's really cute to watch that. So that is the curriculum that we have for my 5th grader. Like I said, history and science and Bible. If you want to see those, make sure you go back and watch last week's video that talks all about those family units. I would love to know what you're using for your 5th grader this year, if you have a 5th grader, or if you've already made it through 5th grade. If you have any tips for me, that would be fantastic. This is a whole new level of adventure for me as a mom with a 5th grader. There's lots of changes happening within my son, and I am learning as I go. So if you have any tips, that would be fantastic. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon for my next video. Bye guys.